Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we must talk about Crucible and the fact that it was an awesome piece of content. Absolutely. Still not my favorite piece of content. I don't think it was the best challenge ever, but I do think it was something fresh and new to the game with a concept that could work for a lot more in the future as well, because I generally did love the whole don't get trapped and find appropriate counters and kind of move forwards, the idea of it. And this video also, I guess, goes in face of the people who say that I never say anything good about Kabam or complain about everything. Obviously, just like everything else, Crucible, I do have things about it that I think could be, different for me personally. But overall, when it comes to community type thing, I think this was borderline perfect. The rewards were great. You get Titan Crystal plus 2 additional 7 stars. You get some revives back, which was a very, very nice touch from Kabam and a new rank 3. And we also kind of need to define what Crucible was, in my opinion, because the term Everest content, as soon as Kabam mentioned it, people were immediately trying to compare it to Necropolis. No, Necropolis is and was completely different type of beast and completely more monumental, more significant, more grindy and revive intensive and so on and so forth. This was much more RPG knowledge based, planning based, and type of thing, which you could do basically itemless. And this is not something on the scale of Necropolis, by no means. Not that it has to be. It's just that in my streams I heard or got asked a lot of comparisons to Necropolis. These two things should not get compared. Even with Eternity of Pain quest and the Grandmaster Gauntlet. The Grandmaster Gauntlet, when it initially got released, was way harsher of a challenge than whatever this was. This, to me, was more akin like shooting 7 stars quest, which, if you had a big roster, was a breeze. With smaller roster, you had to be much, much more mindful. Obviously, it's not the same thing because this is a completely new concept, which I hope to see a lot more in the game. Again, I generally loved a lot of design decisions. For instance, the fact that the choice nodes worked with swapping in the new champion at full health. That alone was incredibly community friendly choice, making this a lot more manageable because you did not have to heal up all the time, or not heal up and then risk dying because you didn't heal up. So starting every fight at full health was a great help. Additionally, giving us extra revives, and there's additional bit to it. If you have explored the legendary difficulty, you have very little reason to do the lower one. However, I view this lower quest as a very nice solid stash of revives when I will need it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I know that I can explore this relatively quickly and easily because I explored the legendary, which is much harder. And this is a nice extra stash of revives, basically, for whenever next Necropolis comes out or whenever I'm completely out and low. So I love that we got some revives on the path rewards as well. But carrying on, the fact that it's permanent content, great, because that's, again, just another rank 3 waiting for a piece of content that you can effectively finish in about 4 hours, especially if you have like pre-planned for it and boost up a bit. And that's well worth that at the moment in the game, as well as having Titan Crystal and 2 of those special crystals there. Overall, it is a good idea. I think we need much more of this. In fact, this might be a little bit controversial. I do want to see one quest like this with Act 8 bosses, and I do want to see a quest like this with pre-nerf Act 6 bosses tuned up, because I would absolutely love to revisit those old challenges as well. As we all know, there were some very annoying ones. Champion was a massive roadblock. We had Mr. Sinister. We had Mordor that was like super annoying. We had a handful of other Act 8 bosses that were definitely massive pains. And then only afterwards, Kabam started nerfing them. And that would also mean Grandmaster as well. So, Act 6 bosses, bring them on. I would absolutely love to do that quest as well. Probably would be more difficult, and Act 8 bosses too. Now, as far as the challenge aspect of it, and again, this part is going to be very subjective, so I want everybody to understand. So far, I basically spoke, I think, for the general sentiment of community as well as my own. And I'm going to say next is going to be my personal perception, which I do not expect or want Kabam to, immediately adjust that course just because I would like something better or something of the sort. No, I think Kabam has to make community-oriented decisions in order to generate more excitement, more hype from the player base. But on a personal level, at some point, I would also love to see more and harder versions of these that are more revive intensive with more substantial rewards that do feel more towards the Necropolis or Grandmaster Gauntlet original difficulties. Because this definitely was on the easier side of the challenges. This was much more akin to the old boss rushes that we used to have. If anybody remembers the Coulson's challenge and the Spider Ham challenge and the Captain Marvel, Brie Larson challenge and stuff like that, this felt like more of that type of content, which is perfectly fine. Which I again would love to see back in the game as well. But can you imagine Crucible with Eternity of Pain bosses, something of the sort, something that does grind your gears, that does take half, like a dozen or a couple of dozen revives to get through for more substantial rewards. And I'm saying that mainly because I absolutely love the format of swap in the champion, can't use it again. The fact that you could have a questing team in this forever if you want to, and it doesn't disturb you from doing other quests. There are a lot of new things with this quest, starting from the format, starting from the swap node, starting from the new tank that Kabam is experimenting with. And all of it's great. You need more of it. With how outdated I think a lot of current game content is when we're talking about monthly event quests and stuff like that, perhaps it's time to move on to something more akin to this than, let's say, Paragon difficulty EQ even, or something of the sort. Again, I do not know how much of a work power Kabam has to invest in order to make a quest like this. But a lot of it can be based off existing content. Like, we can revisit variant bosses, we can visit just variant quests, retuned, reworked, reamped with this format. And I think that is one of the more brilliant things about this. Because with this type of tech and layout, Kabam can make majority of the existing standalone quests into an interesting challenge. They could quite literally go to Act 8.1, take all the fights from it, or jiggle them up a bit, and work them into this type of challenge. And I think community will love it. They especially could go to most of Act 6 maps because every fight's different and work them into a challenge like this. Or into some variants. But the point is, I think Kabam did a fantastic job here. Absolutely, 100%. I think it is one of the more fresh and good things that came out of this recently from Kabam's brain, basically. And I want more of it. I want more iterations of this with more difficulty levels, with more challenge mode, with pretty much everything. I enjoyed doing it. It was one of the very first piece of content that I really had fun with as well. Starting from thinking about it, planning, discussing it, so on and so forth. In fact, I will be redoing the Crucible with like lower rank champions. For instance, only using 7-star rank 1s and 6 stars or something. Because again, number one, I find it fun. which is something that I feel like a lot of MCOC has been lacking recently. And number two, I think it would be useful for community as well. So yeah, that's the main point of this video. Good job, Kabam. Whoever made this did a very good job. So, what are your thoughts on Crucible? And I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the